Hello everybody, Run 608 here. Hope this is coming through okay. Mic might be a little loud, I can't really tell anymore. Said this is Gen 608. This is another episode in the series on Unconditional Surrender, the CUCU campaign. CUCU stands for Cripple UK Collapse USSR. I've done both of those things. The UK is on its way back with help from the US and some fairly incompetent play by the Germans, I think. I have not been playing as well as I probably should be. It seems like I'm a little behind here in trying to close off the med. With that said, if you like what you see, hit the thumbs up button. Helps the algorithm of YouTube. When the people go searching for games on or videos on USE. If you really like what you see, go ahead and subscribe and hit the notify button. You'll be notified whenever I schedule another stream or when I upload a video on the game. I'm hoping to get my Vassal version of this, which is followed somewhat the same pathway here. I'm hoping that we will be able to get that one re-energized and moving forward so that you guys can see the end game from this strategy. I'm going to try to do the same thing here. I'm hoping to have a better end game for the West than I do in the other one, but we'll see how it goes. Try to give you a couple of things to compare to. I will try to keep this to no more than an hour. We'll just see how fast I can get through things. So, with that said, declarations of war, I thought I might have to, depending on what was going on. The Germans... where are we at? The Germans really would like to get Sweden on board. And the Allies are threatening to get Portugal. What were we looking? So the Germans have 3 successes in the Cup. The Allies have 2, because the political success works for either. There is 1 political failure. Political failures will not hurt the Soviets or the British at this point, because they don't really have anything that they're adjacent to that can be activated. Of the countries that are left, it's Portugal, Vichy, Sweden. Who else? Who else is left? In Greece. And none of those are adjacent to allied countries. So political failures will not hurt me if I pull them. So the Allies and the Russians can pull and or play stuff in the cup with impunity. The Germans, a failure could put a pro marker in Greece, could activate Portugal. Won't hurt them in Sweden, or it could put a pro allied marker in Vichy. So there's 3 possible more allies for the West that could happen here before we get to the Soviet reentry. So the Axis is like, I've got enough problems trying to clear up the med here, so no, we're not going to declare war. And the West is, why would I get rid of possible allies? So no, they're not going to declare war. The Germans, I'm going to have to do some stuff here with the Italians. I do have 34 production points, so I wanted to give 1 to the Italians. I can't remember. I think Turkey is pretty much set in where they need to be, right? Yeah, we're pretty much set down here. The only thing is do I need to have... do I need to have something up here? Am I going to need to move some more Yugoslavs? I am getting to the point now, it being August of 43, is I've got September, October, November, and then a December move to do finalized line movement. So I do have to start trying to make sure that I'm getting units over here. to handle things. The fins are basically in place to slow down Russian or Soviet, trying to conquer Finland. Romanians, do they need to move anything? This guy's going to sit on the isthmus. This guy's sitting down here. I don't see me moving more than that. I have to decide if I'm going to go and take out Greece or if I'm going to say enough is enough and start moving Yugoslavs and the Romanians back to Russia. Because those 3 units are like really, really crucial, along with this 3rd Panzer. They're going to be crucial down to allow the Germans to have a strong presence here in front of the Dnieper from Kharkov to Kiev. And I need to have those miners to help me in this lousy terrain like swamps behind rivers and things, so that I can have some kind of a slowdown line, so to speak. I think I'm going to have to do some extra movement. I think I might have to move an extra Yugoslav, so I'm going to go ahead and give them a point. Spain has 3. Oh, what's the West got here? They have an ultra, a partisans, surprise attack marker, so I don't have to worry about the partisans in Spain because they're Axis, so he can't use those there. Could use the partisans to get into Kuwait or Suez, but again, he has to do those things without air cover. Oh, what do I need to do? I don't think I need to add any more points. I think those are going to be the only 2. I may regret this, but okay. So now we are at strategic warfare. All right, the Allies have been doing really well here. The British have gotten themselves down from 9 all the way down to 4 with U.S. help and bombing campaign. Germans finally lost a factory last turn, but they also got a factory from their economic reforms, so they stayed at 34. If you go and you look at the turn track, I'm going to get a submarines in September, so I'm going to go ahead and spend the submarines now. I don't think the Allies are going to do any invasions this turn, but when they have 2 surprise attack markers, they might try to do a double invasion someplace here at the end of the summer. So, and then I'll have a submarines to go with my surface action marker up here and hopefully be able to intervene. The other thought is to keep the submarines. Now, I can't let him get up to 3 lost factories. I need to stay at full production, I think. Yeah, I'll go ahead and use them. And then the West, they're not going to see their ultra till November. They don't really have another mobile unit besides the one up here. What do they got up here? They've got the BEF in Plymouth that they can move out and possibly invade with. They're going to get the 1st American Army next turn. That builds at the end of September, which means it really won't be available until the beginning of November, because I'll have to spend the October term moving it into in-theater. And then at the beginning of November, it'll be available to do things. Oh boy. It'll be a long time before I get another real ground unit to use. And about the time he's available to use, I'll get another factory. I really don't want to I want to try and get myself down as far as possible here. I don't think I'm going to need the Ultra, so I'm going to go ahead and use it too. So both sides are going to use their stuff. I just had to kind of talk my way through whether I really needed to do that. So it's +5 to +3, and we're both halved. And I rolled a 5 + 5 is a 10, divided by 2. He rolled a 3, +3 is a 6, divided by 2. 5 to 3 means he actually lost, the Allies actually lost a factory, and Germany got her factory back. So good die rolls for the Germans. However, German submarines are delayed 6 turns. The Ultra is only delayed 4 turns, so that's going to hurt in the long run. The Allies will start to win the strategic warfare. I have to remember I have an infantry unit that I need to build with the Axis. Okay, we're in strategic movement. And I was thinking, I'm trying to count here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's 2 sorties, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I can't really get down here with any more sorties. I was trying to figure out a way, if there was a way that I could get an airplane in here somewhere with 3 sorties. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Closest you can get is just southeast of Barcelona. So that's kind of disappointing. I might as well just fly this one. Come down to 3. Yeah, I'm kind of out of luck here, I guess. See, 1, 2, 3, 4. See, 2 of these guys have to stay in the western home defense. And 2 guys have to stay in the eastern home defense because of the Moscow Treaty. As soon as the Moscow Treaty ends, I can start moving my airplanes like all out into central Germany and fly them whichever way they need to go, depending on what's coming at me. Very soon, the West is going to have at least a semi-threat of landing in here that I'm going to have to be able to contain. Oh. And so do I have any other strategic moves I can make? With the Axis, is there anything I can do to save myself build production points? I suppose I could just rail another Yugoslav further up. Because, like, these Yugoslav garrisons, they're just being used to, like, keep you from getting too far, if that makes sense. They're not really expected to slow you down, make you spend a couple extra movement points, and that's about it. I guess I'm going to go ahead and move the real Yugoslav unit. Need to start thinking about this ahead of time. And I'm going to move him probably down along here. That'll work. Okay, the west. I have to think about this. Do I really? Let's see, he can attack me at 3. Now he's 3 to 3. You can have the Italians try and take out the Americans. 2, 3, 4, 5, 3. So it'd be 5 to 3, 5 to 3, 3 to 3. Assuming I don't get flipped on any of those 5 to 3s and he just retreats me. 3 hexes. Interesting problems. Well, I don't see any good strategic move for the West, so. Everybody's kind of where they need to be. Soviets, they have one to do. Do I have an airplane that's not on the front? He's not on the front, but he's not at 0, so we don't want to move him. And I do have my army kind of sort of where I want it. You'll notice I have a couple of armored units back behind the line. The ones that are on the front line are like, can't be attacked by a lot at the moment. And what do I have to build for the Soviets? Nothing. Okay. Just a convoy. So it's like I'm going to replenish this and then do absolutely nothing. So I don't think I have any rail moves for the Soviets either. So we're done. All right, Axis, here we go. There's shenanigans here I might want to do if I can close the med. That's the question, is can I close the med? Well, okay. Definitely not ideal here. Well, I guess we go for... Alright, we gotta get this airplane. I'm gonna go ahead and move here to Bordeaux. You'll stay there, and then the 3rd Luft. And move. A real good place to put him down here in Spain, is there? Actually, there isn't a really good place to put him down here in Spain. Problem with the only being allowed to have 2 German aircraft down in Spain, because the others are fulfilling Western home defense and Eastern home defense, makes it very hard for me to pull anything off. So that's why I said I don't think I'm doing this quite right. I don't think it really matters. It's one of these 2 hexes, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so said, I'm not sure I'm doing this right, so we're going to go after this guy. With Italians, because I don't have the Italians capable of actually doing an attack because I didn't supply that ground unit. So we just negated the American Air Force with the Italians. And then we're going to have the 2nd Panzer is going to go after the 5th. Go after him with everything we got. And I got a no effect. So we have to go after him again. And we'll throw the airplane in. Oh boy, the 5th is really holding out, isn't it? Wow. So that's a very good stand there by the 5th. Because I don't have any way of... I don't think I want to use up my airplane at this point. I'm not going to use my airplane. Because it's just not going to happen. I am going to move this Italian onto the rail line so that I can actually possibly do something next turn. Wow, that was kind of unexpected. I was hoping to force at least a retreat there, but at +2, I thought at least with the first couple I could have gotten one retreat. I could have taken a ran. Okay, well, this is going to get intercepted, so I'm not going to bother with the escort. I'm just trying to get it out of Ireland because it's not doing me any good there. Technically, I want it to try and get down here. I don't think he's going to let me. So we're just going to go out there and say, okay, well, bang on me. Well, I think I'll start with home fleet. Let's see how we do. So I'm +2 to his -4. Put him up to 6 sorties, and he's only got one place to go. So that's where he's going, and that's where he's going to stay. Okay. I was not happy. Not happy with that. Do I even try this against the Canadian? He's +3. I could put the airdrop marker on him. That would make him +1, right? So he'd be +1. Then I could attack him with 2, 4. Double with not isolated, so 4. Throw in this guy with a tank marker on him would be what, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Throw in an airplane, 9, 10. Just 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 8, 9, 10. You get up to about a +9 halved. And he'd be a +1. Not the best odds in the world, but I think it's about all I've got at this point. So he's going to try and take out that airplane. Hopefully do it in one shot. Nope, die rolls are not going the Axis way this time. So he will have to go in and do the airstrike because I need to save that guy. I have to make it so he doesn't have that. Alright, well, I'm kind of desperate here. I really need to get something going on this guy. So if I have 2, 4, base guy is 4, plus 2 is 5, 6. Plus this guy is 7, and then 8, 9, 8, 9, 10, minus 1. I could be plus 9 on the first one. The second one could be 4, 5, 6, plus 5. And halved on the second one if I get a second attack. Where do I go? Yeah, it'd be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the second attack. So plus 7. Alright. So we're going to try it at plus 9. Yes, I have to. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we come in here. Right now we're plus 6. I can make a tank, makes it plus 7. And then I can throw in this airplane for plus 9. And he's plus 1. I'm halved. So let's see if we can make a die roll. Yay, I got a defender retreat. Now, technically I could retreat here. Because I have the straights and I could go into Tangier. This is going to be important in a minute. I really do need to try and hang on to Gibraltar. Because if I lose Tangier, the Italian fleet still can't get into the Atlantic. But if I lose Gibraltar, they can. They can base to Gibraltar, and then they can like rebase up to Corona or something, so they could actually cause me a lot of havoc. So I got lucky. Even with a 1 plus 9, he managed to roll a 1 as well. So that helped. So defender retreat. I do not need to retreat. I can't remember how this works. Menu. Zoom in here to... Now I should be able to stay in the hex, but I get flipped. So I'm hoping for a luckier die roll on this roll. So maybe I should have kept that Ultra in my pocket to defend Gibraltar. I may lose Gibraltar here. Alright, so then the Axis is gonna, this is its desperation attack here. It's gotta go here. Of course I have to assault. Why are you asking me? It's a fart. I have to assault it. I don't have a choice. Alright, I only have the one guy that I can get there. I'm gonna go ahead and throw in the airplane and the heavy artillery. Puts me in a net plus 7, and he's at a minus 1. So I'm plus 7 halved, and he's minus 1. So I need another DR, if possible. And I didn't get it. The British held. Dang it! 2 1s I rolled for the Germans on those attacks. He rolled a 1 on one of his, but only that was the only one, so... that means that I probably am not going to take Gibraltar, and I need to rethink how I'm going to defend myself. Because I did not move the 5th at all, and I did not take Gibraltar, and this stuff's all going to go away. For at least a turn, maybe more. Might lose the airdrop permanently. If that happens, then I'm really in trouble. So, my desperate gamble did not pay off. German air is being depleted faster than I can replenish it. And I'm facing a real possibility of a Western invasion, so I'm going to have to pull one of these armored out soon. So life's going to get really hard here for the Germans. I do get ground supports next turn, so that's something. Interesting that he offsets the tanks like that. Okay, and he's going to get ground units. He's going to start being able to actually threaten me seriously here. We'll be facing ground combats. What do I need to do? Yeah, I'm going to have problems here fairly soon. Yeah, this guy's job is to go die in Vasta when I get there. What is it going on? Why is he not? Oh, that's weird. Try the magic F5 button. We're going to see if I can reload it. Yeah, every once in a while things get hung up and you have to hit the F5 button. That was weird. Okay, we're going to get that going. We took one Yugoslav off there. I have to wait a turn for another one. We'll put this guy on the rail line, just because we can. This Romanian I'm also going to put on a rail line because I might still need him down here. That's the problem. 6, 7, 8. I can get him into Russia in 2 turns. If I put him on the rail line, like right here. And he still could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can get off one attack in Salonika. Head to. Pretty much going to be up to the German armor to do stuff. Such troubles I have. Okay. Probably need to move some German infantry up to the front line here. Okay. What have I got? I got 22 left. I'm gonna have 3, 6, 9, 12. I have a minimum of 12, plus 1 is 13, plus 5 is 18. So I really can't move that many guys here. But I definitely want to get another infantry down towards the south, so I'm going to go ahead and move the 12th down there for now. So, checking on my stuff here. So this airplane's going to have to be replenished, as are all of these. That's 3, 6, 9, 12. Possibly 15, 16. And 5 is 21. So I really can only afford to move one more guy. And don't think I have to worry too much about an attack there, but I am worried about possible attacks down here. So I'm actually going to sit at my 22. I'll go pass. Alright, and this is the crucial point in the turn here is how long does it take me to get back those assets? We already know. Where was it? Where'd it go? Down here. My dismal ones. So my heavy artillery is delayed for 3 turns, and this was August, so that's September, October, November. Just before I'll see the heavy artillery again. And now we're going to see if we lost the paratrooper altogether. And the airdrop will come back in 3 turns. So in November, I'll have like one last desperate chance possibly to get Gibraltar. Okay. So now we got to go through, first off, I think we just do this, supply with no convoys to see what we've got. Alright, these guys are all in limited supply, can't do anything about that. He's over in there. 2, 3. This guy goes out of Ankara. Which infantry is the one near the front? Is that the 8th? That's the 8th. So we're going to take an extra sortie this time around for the Italians to try and keep one of my infantry in full supply. My front infantry here to possibly help me get off an attack. I don't know. I'm kind of hamstrung here. And, yeah. Definitely have to keep the armored and these other 2 that are guarding me against your invasions, so I think we're set. Now it's the west. Okay, well, that worked, holding that mountain. Guess Patton showed up. I need to spend 2 for the British to flip myself over. 3 for the aircraft, so that's 5. He's left Cork, so I'm going to go ahead and don't want to leave that to be an open German port and have me forget it. So I'm just going to go ahead and take care of that. Oh, do I want to stay there? That's an interesting question. Do I want the 9th in Cork? Do I want to open it up to bring in an allied unit at some point in the future? I mean, I could just go put it back in Dublin. I think I'll leave it in Cork. If I have to move it, I'll like use a strategic move or something. And then the only other things I really have to do are the infamous bombing runs here. He's going to do his bombing run. He's going to actually go in and barrel Mets. Germans will intercept 1 time. Send that one back. So we stop that bomber. And Bomber Command comes in and does a bombing run. He goes here. So he gets one free shot on Berlin. That's going to put us at +5 to +4. And then what did we have as far as... He gets subs next turn, and I don't get anything. My ultras come in at the end of the turn, end of the year, when my stuff comes back. My extra bomber doesn't come in until the end of the year. Do I need to try and get another bomb marker on there so it'd be +5 to +4? Because he could very well have me. Of course, he's going to be at, he's at 0 lost factories, right? He's just got the one that you always have. So he might not bother. Saving it for that recovery. Oh, decisions. Because my thought is I'd like to have 4 for the American and, or 2 sorties with the Americans and then 4 sorties with the British for next round. But he's going to be at full at that point. Right now is my best chance to try and get another bomb marker on him. So we're going to go ahead and do it. So kind of the same. Yeah, I know. Go away. I forgot to hit the bombing run part. Just there, there, there. All right, we confirm. Germans have to decide whether they want to go back up to 1 sortie. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 would put me down here. That would be in September. I'm not going to have enough sorties to do it. Yeah, we'll try and shut him down. And I did. Okay, so put them both at 6. That makes it easier for me to stop them in the future. Can't really stop them from going into Berlin right now, but I can stop them everywhere else. Maybe. Okay. I really don't have anything else to do with it. This worked, so I'm going to stay there. Force him to force me out. I'm going to have another ground unit to build at the end of next turn. And maybe I can actually stick another American unit in here and hang on to Gibraltar forever. This was the best chance the Germans I think had at this point. And it didn't quite work out. They'll probably have another chance right before Soviets come in to re-enter the war in November, because they'll get back their airdrop. Meanwhile, before we get there, we're going to have to withdraw one of these armored units, and this other one in French North Africa is going to have to force his way through. Okay, we're done. I mean, I could go and pull this western stuff here. You know, people are like, why don't you just pull the 8th Army and bring it in and do the reinforcement that way? The reason why I'm not doing that is because with the 8th Army sitting there, I can always get a convoy to move, you know, up into Plymouth and try and pull the airplane down here after I've done an invasion. And I have that American surprise attack marker. If you look up in my little box here, I still have this surprise attack marker in my pocket. So as long as I have that in my pocket, and the partisans, there's a serious threat to the Germans here, especially right now because they use their tank to try and take Gibraltar. So I can make this guy be a 0, and I can attack him with 3, 4, 5, -2, 1 for the city and 1 for invading. So I can be +3 to 0 to take back the Suez. That's a possibility of a really good thing to try and do. So, wow, should I do that now? Should I do that now? What's my, what's the turn track look like? Sir, And I get another surprise attack marker next turn. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, I'd get one in December. Know something? I think I'm going to do it now. Time's probably never going to be better. It might not work long term. Then again, it might. Okay, so we got some shenanigans to do. We got us some shenanigans to do. The Germans do have their surface action marker, so we're going to fly the first RAF to here. Well, let's go see if that thing works first. See if I actually get invaded, get the invasion to come off. So let's go down, Turkey's probably the closest place. All right, so, yeah. We're going to place a surprise attack marker right here. In Sea Zone 31. And then we're going to have the 8th Army, Naval Transport, Amphibious Invasion, Undo Move, Undo Move, not going to do that, Undo Move, not going to do that, stop in your tracks, sir. Thank you. First I'm going to play my partisans. Here. Now I know it would be... The other way to do this is wait until I have the second... second surprise attack marker, and then try to go in through Kuwait and then take on Africa Army. But I can't play a partisans in Iraq. So I'm thinking this might be the better way to try and get back into the Middle East. Yeah, they're still going to have their +2 for Basra against me in strategic warfare. I can maybe chip off 1 here for Suez, and then if I can get the BEF over here, so I'll have the first American army to build, they could possibly even get over here and help support me, and, you know, sort of kind of a combined arms thing here that we can try to clean out some of these Turks and Italians if I can get rid of the Germans, which will force a response by the Germans. And right now it's all about delaying the German success rates. And you'll still have time to have everything available for 44 invasion. I might even be able to pull off an invasion into Norway in 43. At the end of 43, depending on the weather. Okay, so I did place my partisans. Now I go over here, and I go naval transport. Notice I had to place these things. The game's very stickler about sequence. If you play on the Vasta module, those rules are, you're supposed to remember those rules. And if you forget, you're like, your opponent goes, I know what you were doing. You just forgot to put the counter down, and you just let them go. In this game, you got to put all the counters down in the right order. So we're going to use that. First off, we're going to do an amphibious invasion. Then we're going to click on the med fleet and say confirm the escort. He's coming with me. And then the obvious place is to attack into Suez. And some people might say, well, land next to it or whatever. In this case, you need to take the port. You cannot afford to miss. If you miss taking the port, you're going to go back to the Arabian Sea, and then we're done. We lost a surprise attack marker, and the partisans will be, 1 to 6 turns later. And no harm done. If you landed here in 5748 and then tried to attack, the odds would be the same. Still be +3 to 0. That's all there. It's what it would be. But if you failed, you would be sitting here out of supply. So you would rather go straight into the port. If you get there, the fleet and the convoy will actually go back to the Arabian Sea. And then you're going to try and bring a convoy around to drop the aircraft in here. And then you'll have the British 8th Army with a British aircraft roaming around in here. So let's see how well we do against the Germans. Let's see if this even works. So there's nothing else we can commit, so away we go. No, I can't. I don't have any to commit. Ooh, I got a defender disrupted. Too bad I can't follow it up. So the Germans are going to go ahead and... Oh boy, this is not good. In order to get what I want, I actually have to have the Germans retreat to here. And he's going to bring an airplane in, so he's going to be 3, 4, 5. I'm going to be 4 at best. Yeah, that was not good. All right, so and then the invasion fleet, I need to get them out of the way. I'm going to put them back where they came from. And now I got to go do shenanigans in England. Hello, shenanigans. First RAF. Hello, first RAF. It's going to fly to Belfast. And then the first RAF is going to naval transport. I don't think I need an escort here. So I don't need to escort. I'm going to go into Sea Zone 1, and then this one, and then this one, and then this one. Go. I'll go up to 4, but then the other one will be able to come down. So then we're going to take this one, naval transport, and we're going to go right into here, and we're going to confirm the naval path, and we're just going to stay there. Because he has no way to intervene with right now in the Red Sea. So I've got the 8th Army there threatening to do things. I'm going to have to bring an army in. So now the real question is going to be, do I bring the BEF down here, or do I just have the Germans try to punch, or the British try to punch holes into things? I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. I really don't. I have to put now 3, 6. This is 3 and 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13. If I counted right, I'm at 13 and 5. 2 and 3 is 18. I've only got 19 left. I really don't have a lot of other movement to do. Which means I can't, okay, I'm not going to flip up that fleet. I'm going to flip up Bomber Command to keep the pressure on central Germany. So I really can't afford to move the BEF at this point. So we're not going to. I think we're happy. We've relanded at Suez, which got us back a will point and also is going to take down 1 on his strategic warfare. So he's only going to be +4 instead of +5 to my +3. Which means I might have a chance here to get the British back even if he does play his subs. So, yep, okay. Away we go. Did I forget anything? I'm trying to make sure I didn't forget anybody. Nope, I don't think I forgot anybody. Yep, I think we're done. Okay, I'm going to pass here. Skip the voluntary elimination phase. Okay, do the simple one first. Everybody that's like in places that I don't have to trace supply lines. Do the simple stuff first. Okay, this is all over in the west. This guy's got to be traced. Alright, so these two are fine. So all I have to do is trace Gibraltar. Okay. Gibraltar, 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 Gibraltar. Where are you, Gibraltar? You're over here. Let me move my supply lines. Alright, we're going to do... Oh, dang. As the Germans, I really can't stop his supply, can I? Really can't stop his supply because he has so many options of supplying himself. Wow. Well, hopefully my opponent that's playing in my vassal game will see this and not feel so bad that he didn't take Gibraltar in the summer of 43 either. Because it's really tough. Alright, so, yeah, he's just gonna, come on. Actually, I'm going to do this, see if this makes any sense to you guys at home. As you're watching this, I'm going to go menu, and I'm going to like really turn down the map here so that it's easy to get to that supply source there. Confirm naval path. The Germans could invade, could intercept. He's +2. I'd be in net minus. Let's see, I'd be +3, -4. I'd be a -1. And this guy could attack at a +1 to then maybe a +1. Trying to go after the regular fleet, probably not a good idea. If I was going to go after anything, I'd try to go after a convoy. And he's only got 4 units to supply. So if he does 2 out of Tangier and 2 escorted out of Gibraltar, they're all American fleets, so it's not going to cost him anything to flip them back over. So it's not going to make any difference to me. So I'm not even going to bother to finish. I'm not even going to bother to try. I'm going to say that's it, we're done. So it confirms the naval path. And then And you can just see that it's just like, okay. Now he has this one doing 1 and this one doing 2. And that's wrong. Because what you want to do is you want to have this British aircraft. He goes through Gibraltar. This guy's going through Tangier. You want him to go through Gibraltar. So you actually have to do this because the automatic thing is, it's doing things it just shouldn't do. It's not the most economic way. So just use the convoy. So you're going to have to do this by hand in order to fix this. Don't want to escort. And just, you know, go here. Confirm. And now, why is he still having me doing 3? Okay, so see, now he does it again. For some reason, he does not want to use the guy in Gibraltar, as he should. Use the convoy, confirm the escort, and again, confirm the naval path. Now, if he had left open in interceptions, I would be doing this with escorted by the fleets, so it wouldn't be a problem. Most likely would get through. He might stop one of them, and then the rest would be automatics. So now here we are. So he'll go up 2. And then what I was trying to get to was all the American fleets at 2, right? All those American fleets, if I have them at 2, then they'll all be at 0 next turn, which is the September turn, which is the last guaranteed fair weather turn, which is what I wanted. I wanted them all to be at 0 for that, so that I can, possibly try and do things. Okay, and then that should be everybody. And we're on to the Soviets. Okay, Soviets. I really don't think I have a dang thing to do with the Soviets, do I? Because these guys here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're there to flip out my my guards infantry units when I want to build them. That's what I'm going to do. So it's kind of like, yeah, okay, sir, I really don't have anything to move. Unless I want to, let's see, I've only got 1 shock army up to the north, 2 shock army. Where are they all shock armies? 3 shock army, 4 shock army, 5 shock army. Maybe I should move one of the shock armies up here. And move that infantry down. Alright, we're going to do some shenanigans here. It's infantry. Pull out a line and just goes. Where do I want to go? We'll just go here. We'll say we're done. And this shock army. Can't quite get there, so he's going to move to there. Let's say he's done. Just because I have nothing else better to do. So we're setting up the Soviet replacement camp to build guards units. Because I literally don't have anything to do with the Soviets at this point. There's no real... Oh, I know what I need to do. Huh. I have a strategic move next turn. I forgot about that. Okay, well, no problem. I can deal with it. Yep, that'll work. Okay. Yeah, I'm done with Soviets. Pa-boom. Boom. Confirm. I can trace lines with supply all. Okay, improving units. The Italians, what do they have? They have 12 left. So, yeah, airplane, convoy, convoy. The Germans have 22. They need to leave 5. 6 because I have a guy to build, right? I have a guy to build. So I have to leave 6. So take off 6 would leave 16, which would be... Okay, well, let's... him, 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 him. If I do the convoy, I have 6 left. I have one guy. At some point here, I have to rebuild my... Oh no, I have my surprise attack marker sitting there. Okay, so I don't need to rebuild my surprise attack marker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The problem is with this 10 here, the whole point of allowing myself to go up to 10 was to close off the med in Gibraltar so then I could handle things like an invasion of Suez or Basra area. By Gibraltar not being closed and Tangier still being in his hands, he has the ability to just shuffle troops into French North Africa, which is bad for me as the Axis. Good for me as the Allies. Yeah, so, okay. Give you a kind of a little bit larger overview. British Isles are fairly well, done. The Axis are done with theirs. Now we get to do the fun ones. Americans go, yeah, my guys, my guys, my guys, my guys, my guys. The British are definitely spending 2 to do this. They have to do this just to force him to use sorties. I want this because I want to try and actually defend in Suez. What have I got? I got 11 left. So if I did this one, this one, and maybe the Med Fleet, so I can move it in there to be able to escort it in case he doesn't really have any airplanes he can get down here, does he? Maybe do Home Fleet. I'm going to do Home Fleet because that means if he tries to move this thing, I can hit him with Home Fleet and with Force H in the Atlantic or North Atlantic. So this Z zone here is not a friendly C zone for the Germans. He can get whacked by 2 different fleets at ridiculously high odds, and even escorted, it's probably going to get sloshed and shoved right back into Brest. So ideally, this is what my opponent did in our vassal game. He managed to get, when he did this something similar where he was trying to move this convoy through the North Atlantic, C Zone 7. Well, when he got there, I missed. I whiffed twice or something. So that, yeah, he had a couple sorties on him, but he was able to get to C Zone 16 and then land at Cadiz, and then he threatened to do invasions. And I think he actually did an invasion. I don't know if it was at Tangier or Casablanca, but he actually did an invasion and managed to pull it off. But he had better control of his German air. I'm not doing so well with that. I'm not sure what did he do that he gave me. I think early on in the fair weather of 43, he gave up Germany to the bombing campaign and just said, "Oh, the heck with it." And he had both of these aircraft sitting down here so that he could continually do a cycling swap. So he had an extra German aircraft that he could cycle in. That's what it was. So I haven't been doing that, and that's going to, I'm paying for it now in that I missed Gibraltar last time, and I may not get a better shot at it. Because the Yanks are going to show up next turn. They're going to get built, and the following turn will be October. And I get to a point there where it might be a little too late to be worrying about this, and I may just have to withdraw the armor and say, that's it, we're done. We're going home. We have a German infantry down there in Spain to help the Spanish hang on for a while. But that's going to be about all I can do. Because I'm going to need at least 2 of those armored units. One in... and perfectly honest, I need 2 German armored in France, and I need at least 1 in Soviets to face the Soviets' southern offensive. So this is not going very well for the Germans, but you know, it's not a cakewalk for the Germans, this strategy. As I'm showing here, there's ways to get, you know, get halfway decent die roll splits, and then you can hold them out. All right, the West is done. Soviets only get, that's just the replacements. They do that. There is no upgrades at this turn. The Germans can build. They have 1 point to build. The 19th is going to have to be built over here because Soviets. And then the only one that can buy a surprise attack marker is the Americans. So the USA buys an American surprise attack marker. That's all we have to build. We're done with that. Soviets are not going to build that. I will build that in November. So at the last possible moment, he'll find out if I'm going to be looking at a northern invasion of, you know, Norway, or not Norway, Finland. If I'm going to be heading that way, or if I'm going to drop it like in Novorossiysk or Batum and threaten to invade Sevastopol. So he's going to have to defend both places until he sees that in November. That's why I don't place it. Okay, we're in diplomacy. The Germans saved this specifically. They have 3 shots. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 counters. They've got 3 and 14 to get a pro marker. And I pulled a pro axis. I could remove a marker in Portugal. I think I'm going to take my chances on the whole Portugal thing. Part of me says I want to go get Sweden. Part of me says I should try to get Vichy France, but it's a 1 in 6 that I actually get units in Vichy France. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go for Sweden, because I've only got a maximum of 3 political successes. And if he pulls one of these, then that means there's only 1 more chance for me to do something. So the U.S. goes, hey, political failures don't hurt me. Go. We pulled a no event. And the Soviets are like, well, if I pull the pro-Western, that makes it more likely for the Germans to succeed. I could pull pro-Axis, makes them less likely to succeed. I could pull a political success, which I just remove the German marker in Sweden. Or I could pull a political failure of which there are no consequences for the Soviets because I don't have anything that's neutral that's adjacent to me. Turkey's in the war. Romania's in the war. You know, everything's in the war. Because I don't have a border with Sweden. So that doesn't hurt me as a Soviet. So the question is do I want to do this now? If I pull a no event, I make it more likely that something's going to happen next turn. It's a real dilemma. Or I could try to just dilute the cup. But I think I'm going to be greedy, and I'm going to go ahead and pull. I pulled a political success. So I can remove the Swedish or the Portuguese. This is important. I'm glad this happened. You'll notice it says remove Portuguese, and you're like, wait a minute, Portuguese, that's on your side. It's a Western Allied marker, therefore it's enemy. The reason why I wasn't pulling before is because there was no pro-Axis marker. And if the Soviets had pulled, and the only marker on the board, which is the only thing they can do is remove a marker, the only marker on the board is here. If he wanted to use it, he'd have to remove it. And then, no, this thing says you can. It's actually you must. The way the rules are written, the political choices when you're in the political phase, there's no maze there anymore. It's all concrete. If you pull it, you must act on it if you can. So anyway, I got what I wanted. I want Sweden not to be in the war. So, and now we're at the declaration of war phase for July or September of 1943. So I think that's going to be it, kids. A little over an hour. Sorry, I had to do some thinking there on my feet. Got real close to taking Gibraltar. Got him flipped. Had a good attack and rolled a 1. So that's the way this game goes. Best laid plans. If you roll a 1, odds are your opponent's not going to roll a 1. That's what happened on the first attack in Gibraltar. If you go back and look at it, we both rolled 1s. I was like +9. He was +1. So he ended up being a 2, and I was a 10 halved to a 5. 5 to 2 is a retreat, so I got him flipped. And then I had a +7. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it was a +7 to his -1. He rolled a 4. I rolled a 1. And an 8, 1 + 7 is an 8 halved down to a 4. And he rolled a 4. -1 is a 3, so he hung on by 1 pip of the die. If he'd have rolled 1 less, he would have been retreated, and I would have retreated him into Tangier to save the unit, but then he would have taken Gibraltar. And things would be far different. Instead, because Gibraltar held, then the 8th Army felt emboldened to not have to come and rescue the Canadians in Gibraltar and decided to invade in Suez. And there you have it. Now we have the British are coming up on the end of 43, in the last third of the year. The British are in Suez, and they're still holding on to Gibraltar, and the Americans somehow have stubbornly held on in North Africa. I got pushed away from Algiers last 2 turns ago, but last turn 3 attacks by the German armored on my 5th Army resulted in absolutely no movement. So, yay me, but yeah, that's not a likely thing to keep happening, unfortunately. Okay. I think that's it, kids. Right? So, like what you see, hit the thumbs up button. Helps the algorithm in YouTube for their whole search engine and stuff. If you really like what you see, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notify button. You'll be notified when I schedule another stream or when I actually post other videos. We're getting down into the tense parts here at the end of 43, where the Germans have to start playing a timing game. I don't think if I don't bust through here soon, I'm not going to be able to get Gibraltar isolated in time for me to get one shot at it, and then I have to try and get back to the Soviet Union and the Western invasion of France, which will probably be being built up, which means these armored units can't stay down here. I right now have 4 of my 5 armored units down here. We are now down in the Diplomacy Cup. This is the good thing for the Axis. There's my good thing in the Diplomacy Cup is there's only 1 pro marker for each of us. So odds are we're not going to get anywhere. And the political failure can hurt the Germans, so the Germans may not even bother to pull anymore, since they don't have a pro marker on the track, on the board. If I still had my pro marker on Sweden, I'd be tempted to go do it and then give him the possibility of a political failure, him being able to put like a pro marker in Vichy or something. But right now, I don't think the Germans are even going to bother to pull anymore, because they can't get anywhere. And the Allies only have 1 political success, so they're going to actually have to cede the cup. And if they cede the cup, then the Germans get to pull first the following round. The Soviets can't use a political success except to remove things, so they won't be pulling either. They can try and cede it for the West, and then the Germans get a chance at pulling that political success before the West. So that's the games we'll probably play in the last few turns here. Last 2 or 3 turns, just to see if the Germans can get Sweden on board. It'll make their life much simpler if they can. But right now, the quandary here is Gibraltar is holding. Literally, it is the rock, and the fifth has been a rock itself. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting conclusion here. And then once the Soviets come in, then it's a matter of the Germans are no longer playing to. They'll be in an aggressive defense mode. They'll go after semi-isolated, high-value units that, if nothing else, all you're trying to do is flip them so that they, like if I flip the Fifth Army, it's not very effective in trying to counterattack me. Nice if I eliminate it because it takes a couple turns to get it back. But rather than elimination, I think I would just as soon flip a bunch of armies on the front line, especially like in Soviets. If you flip a few armies in the front line, then that section of the line is very not offensive. And if that's where the Russians really wanted to go, then they have to try and shift troops there so they won't have as many movement points to push forward. So that's what it's all going to be about, is a sort of an aggressive. It's an aggressive defense. You do make a few attacks in your defense, and otherwise you sit and hold territory long enough to slow the Soviets down. Your goal is to keep the Soviets in reasonable locations by the end of summer of 44, which to me is somewhere hopefully just on the other side of the weather line, if you can. Probably not going to happen in the south, but you do have all these mountains and lovely things here to defend in the south. So you can slow down the Soviets just by terrain here. But if you can be on this side, then the weather will slow them down come October, November. And, by sometime in January or February, they probably are going to have pushed into Poland. Probably be on a line from Königsberg down through whatever this town is. I can't remember. There's a town here. But it'll be somewhere along this arc, the Vistula and the mountains. If you can get him there in the start of the summer of 45 with the Soviets, when 45 starts up or whatever through the winter of 44, the Germans pretty much have a one position at that point, because you have to take all the German cities with my willpower of 82. You basically have to take all the German cities. There's just not enough German units to destroy in order to get there. And that's a tough road to hoe when you have Italians that can fill in holes in the line in the west or in the east. That's going to be probably my next strategic movement. Is I'm going to take this Italian infantry that's sitting here in Venice, and I'm probably going to throw him up in the Soviet Union, because then I can just put a German garrison there to hold on to some of these places. So, yeah, we're getting into interesting territory here, where it's don't give up as the West when this thing happens to you. You have things you can do. I've been doing well in the diplomacy phase. I'm going to have like an American unit I can bring in and just put. Once I build him next turn, I think I'm just going to drop him in the North Atlantic Ocean here. This box with Force H and the convoy. Because then he threatens to invade in 7 or 16. Or I may just actually have them all move into Edinburgh, and then they'll be threatening to invade Norway. Which is not a bad thing to do if you get poor weather and you can drop your guys into Norway. You can start a sort of an offensive there for 44. Your offensive is going through Norway and based out of Gibraltar and out of Suez. You don't have a lot of units to pull all that off is the problem. And that's the problem with the West always. They're usually best on just one sort of unified front, which is usually in France, where you can actually use all those units at the same time with their proper air power. All right, I'm babbling. Like I said, if you like it, hit the thumbs up. you'll really like it, subscribe. And until we meet again, folks, stay safe and bye-bye.